this evening to introduce our guest of honor and the 2017 recipient of the Spark Lifetime Achievement Award. I have had the very good fortune to know Herman Mhire for almost 35 years and to have worked with him professionally for nearly a quarter of a century. His contributions to the university, to the city, the citizens of Lafayette, and far beyond the borders of this state have brought major national and international attention to the arts in this his home. It is in no small measure that his tireless labors have frequently been described as visionary and which have had a profound effect on this culture and continue to enrich our lives. Herman's career is long and distinguished, and I would like to touch on just a few highlights. Receiving his Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from UL Lafayette and his Master of Fine Arts degree from the University of Arkansas, Herman was trained as a painter and printmaker. Joining the UL Fine Arts faculty in 1977, he was later appointed as director of the University Art Museum in 1983, where he established a professional exhibition space within Fletcher Hall and organized more than 200 exhibitions, including travel exhibitions presented in the United States, Canada, Europe, and the Middle East. Additionally, he built a permanent collection showcasing Louisiana's most prominent artists. Museum publications he produced received awards from the American Association of Museums, Art Directors Club of New York, and the Art Directors and Designers Association of New Orleans, to mention only a few. In 2000, he was honored by being named a Distinguished Professor of Visual Arts in the College of the Arts through the university. In that same year, he began to seek private funds to build a new art museum for UL. Establishing a fundraising goal of $8.5 million, and Paul and Lulu Hilliard responding with a lead gift of $5 million, the Paul and Lulu Hilliard University Art Museum opened in the spring of 2004. The culmination of Herman Mhire's vision for Lafayette's first professionally designed and built art museum. Herman collaborated with New Orleans architecture firm of Eskew, Dumas, Ripple, and M. Goodwin Associates of Los Angeles on the planning and design of the new museum. The project received 6 local, state, regional, and national architectural design awards, including a 2005 National Honor Award from the American Institute of Architects. Herman served as director, chief curator of the Paul and Lulu Hilliard University Art Museum until his retirement in 2005. In 2008, his personal work as a visual artist shifted to photography, which resulted in a series of works titled Altered States that was exhibited at the Acadiana Center for the Arts here in Lafayette in 2009, at the Contemporary Arts Center in New Orleans in 2010, and the Sarah Nightingale Gallery in New York in 2011, among other venues. He continues to be a highly prolific artist, producing new bodies of work. Finally, Herman is also well known as the founding president of the Festival International de Louisiana, the largest outdoor, free, francophone visual and performing arts festival in the United States. Featuring artists from across North America, the Caribbean, Africa, and Europe, the festival attracts an estimated 400,000 fans annually. In 2005, Herman Mhire was awarded one of France's highest honors when the Minister of Culture of France named him a Chevalier of the Order of Arts and Letters. Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, please join me in welcoming Herman Mhire, recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you. Thank you. I have an assistant here that if I become overcoming with emotion, she has my permission to slap me, bring me back to reality. I want to thank Brian Kelly and all of the members of the visual arts faculty for nominating me for this award. I'm extremely gratified. I was totally surprised when I was informed of this honor. I enjoyed working with faculty members in the visual arts department for 30 years, learning from them and being inspired by their dedication to teaching and to their studio work. When you receive an award like this, hey Stephanie, when you receive an award like this, it really causes you to reflect upon your career and, hey Linda. And thinking about my work as a professor and a museum director and cultural community organizer, and there are many individuals I really need to recognize and thank. Of course, I'm very thankful because I had very encouraging and supporting parents, and my high school art teacher, who unfortunately is not here this evening, Terry Giroir, who really recognized early on my passion for art. I was fortunate when I enrolled at the university here to serve as a student assistant to Fred Daspic, and who was in charge of the University Fine Arts Gallery. And he was my inspiration to go into museum and gallery work. And of course I have to recognize Bill Moreland, who was head of the visual arts department, who was an extraordinary arts educator and administrator, who invited me to join the faculty in the 1970s. And some of you here probably knew at one point Calvin Harlan, who was a true inspiration, an artist, art educator, poet, and philosopher. Not many people know that Beverly Latimer, I owe a huge debt of gratitude to her. She was the first director of the Lafayette Natural History Museum and Planetarium, and she invited me to serve as curator. I did about 5 exhibitions over a period of number of years, exploring our relationship to the natural environment of Southwest Louisiana. Thank you, Beverly. And Philippe Gustin. Philippe and I first began working together in the 1970s when he was working for Jimmy DiMaggio at a state agency located in Lafayette called the Council for the Development of French in Louisiana. And Philippe and I first worked on a project. 1976 was the year of the U.S. bicentennial, and France invited the state of Louisiana to organize a special exhibition in Paris. That exhibition was being planned by a group of historians at the Center for Louisiana Studies. The exhibit was scheduled to open in May of '76, and in November of '75, the committee realized they didn't know how to design an exhibit. So I became the curator of the Paris exhibition. So I relied on the committee for content, and then I flew to Paris and met with the administrators of the exhibition facility and came back to Lafayette. We built the exhibition in the old Stevens Library, which was in transition at the time. And so that was when I first worked with Philippe. Later, 1985, we worked together on an important exhibition called Senegal, Narrative Paintings. And we brought musicians from Senegal to Lafayette. And that project, of course, led to the creation of Festival International. First year, which premiered in 1987. So I have to mention some of the founders, the people that worked with me to give birth to this world-class event. Of course, I mentioned Philippe Gustin, Phil Lank, who was head of community development, musician Michael Doucet, Diana Barry, Tom Boozer, who was head of the Arts Council at the time, Julie Calzone, who donated all of her time and her agency's time for PR and marketing to promote our event, Kathy Weber, who was head of the Downtown Development Authority, Sally Herpin, Donnie Robin, worked with parish government, Taylor Rock, Lisa Prejean, Cherry Fisher May, Wilfred Pierre, and our wonderful artist Tina Giroir. Now, as far as the art museum is concerned, of course, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Paul and Lulu Hilliard for